The Trump administration says it will relocate the U.S. Forest Service headquarters from Washington, D.C. to Salt Lake City, Utah, and shut down research facilities in 31 states. The change is expected to be completed by the summer of 2027. Agriculture Secretary Brooke Rollins says the relocation will bring leaders closer to the landscapes they manage and people who depend on them. The Deputy Agriculture Secretary says Salt Lake City was chosen for its reasonable cost of living, proximity to an international airport, and Utah's family-focused way of life. But not everyone is on board with the change. Gabrielle Canon joins us now. She's a senior climate reporter for The Guardian. So why do U.S. officials favor this move and see it as necessary?
Yeah, I mean, they're really framing this as an efficiency move and one that they said has been a long time coming. So there has been challenges in recent years with the Forest Service sprawling mission, certainly staying on budget. And at this point in time, the administration is saying that this is going to help maximize their ability to expand the mission, which they see as timber production. Of course, that's been a key priority for President Trump. But of course, if you zoom in on some of the details of this plan, you can see some of the other ways that this might actually put more power under the president. And so, for example, we're going from this 10 region hierarchy to one that is then 15 different state offices. Those new state directors will be political appointees rather than career civil servants.
What are environmental groups saying? Some of them are pushing back, right?
Yeah, I mean, the pushback has been expansive. So when this was first proposed last year, we of course had a public comment period. It had 14,000 comments filed. The vast majority, it was like over 80% were negative. People are concerned that this will actually have the opposite effect, not more efficiency, but actually less. So some of the things we've seen in the past when these big shakeups have happened under the first Trump administration, for example, when he tried to move the BLM headquarters to Colorado, 90% of those staff positions were lost. It created huge vacancies, huge issues in accomplishing the day-to-day work. And we're coming at a time when the Forest Service has already seen big disruptions in the work that they do because of those budget cuts and staffing cuts from mid last year. And so there are worries that this is not only going to hamper that work, but it's also going to stop like critical fire safety work, research, and the general mission that goes beyond timber production, which is of course conservation and climate science.
And then just thinking about the people at the center of this. I mean, you're asking people to uproot their lives and move essentially across the country, right?
Yeah, exactly. And what we've seen in the past that some folks just really aren't able to do that. And so there are people who are critics of this plan who think that this is sort of a broader way to easily eradicate the folks that have been in doing this work for years and years to replace them, once those new systems are set up. But what we know from past experiences is that we will see disruptions, and whether or not this turns into something that is efficient in the long run remains to be seen. I think that's been one of the major issues, right? Is that there are clear problems that need to be solved. I think a lot of critics of this plan were hoping for a more surgical approach and certainly a more robust analysis on the types of cost savings or the ways in which this might streamline the work. And rather than a surgical approach, the administration has kind of chosen to come in with a sledgehammer. And so there are worries that this is going to leave the Forest Service even more hampered than it already is.
Gabrielle Canon, keep us posted, please. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.